Another contingency that is really important to consider when making the offer contingent upon selling your home. So this is something that I feel like when a seller is getting an offer and they're reviewing offers, multiple offers especially, if you have a home to sell, if you can't get a loan until you sell your home, then they are probably going to go with another offer. So Zoe, can you talk to us about some ways that we can mitigate this possibly?
Yes, so this is definitely something that you would want to check with your lender on. If you are getting a home loan for the new property, you definitely want to check with your lender before you go ahead and waive that contingency. Sometimes it is not an option for people. So if you are not going to sell your current home prior to buying new, your lender will still have to count your current mortgage as well as the new mortgage against you in your debt to income ratios. It will depend on if you have a little bit of wiggle room in your debt ratios in order to still count that current mortgage payment against you. Another thing to think about if you're not going to be selling prior to buying new is, do you still have the funds for the down payment? Some people do have a lot of money saved up in their savings accounts and they can make maybe the minimum down payment without selling their current home, but some people do have to sell their current home in order to get the money for their down payment on their new home. So you definitely want to check with your lender before you waive the sale contingency.
I will say I am surprised often at how many people don't have to sell their current home in order to purchase a new home. So it is really important to have that discussion with your lender and see, because that really can help you find your next dream home.
And it's definitely something that some people may be leery of at first because they think, oh, I couldn't possibly make 2 mortgage payments. But especially in a seller's market like we kind of are seeing still right now, the buyer has to understand that they might not even have 1 month of both of those payments. They could turn around and sell and list their house immediately after they buy, meaning that they wouldn't ever have 1 month with both mortgage payments, but it's just the timing of how that works out, not having to put it as a contingency on their contract.
Okay, I'm really hesitant about giving away some of my secrets right now, but hopefully this will help somebody get their offer accepted. And if you're using a different agent, well, shame on you, but you should come to me. But okay, so something that I do, and maybe my client does not want to completely waive their inspections, but something that I do have them consider, especially if we have put in multiple offers and they just don't quite have as much buying power as the other buyers that are kind of their average in the market. Sometimes I'll put a clause in special agreements saying inspections are for buyer information only, and negotiations will only be considered on single items totaling $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 or more. So basically what that means is we're not going to nitpick. And that is something that I think drives sellers nuts, is when our buyers agents are nitpicking. I kind of really coach my clients through not to do this. And so honestly, a lot of agents like to work with me because of this. So basically with this clause, what we're saying is we're not going to ask you for a door handle to be fixed, or we're really just looking at, are there issues with the roof? Are there going to be issues with the foundation? Is the furnace or the air conditioning completely not working? We're just looking for these big ticket items, like basically any deferred maintenance. And that's the only thing we're going to consider negotiating on in the inspection period. Another way to make your offer competitive is honestly the agent that you choose. Honestly, there have been times where I know there are multiple offers and maybe there was an offer that might have been a little bit more incentively better than the offer that I was able to present for my buyer because of their buying power. But the agent on the other end has said, I want to work with you. I know how you work. You get everything done. You're amicable to work with. I prefer to work with you. And I've told this to my seller, because there are some agents, maybe the selling agent doesn't know the buying agent, or maybe they have heard stories about working with that agent that just aren't preferable. So choosing an agent wisely is really important in making a competitive offer. And the same thing goes with choosing a lender. A lot of times I will have clients that maybe have, well, I don't actually, because I wouldn't let them present an offer like this, but in the past, I've had clients come to me with like, oh, we have a pre-approval from mortgage. And I'm like, no, we are not presenting that to a seller, because I don't know. Zoe, can you talk about why it's so important to have a local lender?
Yes, so that's what I was going to say. Is as important as it is to have a good agent who works well with other agents, it's also very important to have a local lender. I hear this all the time from other agents, and I've bought and sold a few houses as well myself. Whenever sellers are reviewing all of their offers, obviously they want to see that the lender has a good reputation, and also has a good reputation here in town. A lot of times with online lenders, they're going to have a 1-800 1-800 number in order to get a hold of their loan officer. So it's not going to be as easy if there's a quick loan question that somebody needs answered. It's not going to be as easy to reach that loan officer. I'm available morning and night on my cell phone, texting, emailing, whatever. I'm pretty much constantly available if I am needed. You will not find that a lot with online lenders. Also, something with local lenders, a lot of us are going to actually be at the closing as well. We're going to bring our documents with us, or our closing department's going to send them over ahead of time. I hear a lot about title company closers having issues with receiving docs from out-of-town lenders or not receiving the wire in order to fund. So people are sitting around waiting for hours. We fund right at the closing table. I'm sure a lot of other local lenders do as well, but I try to make the closing process as seamless as possible, whereas people who are out of state, they've never met anybody at the title company, they've never met the agents, they've never met the buyers. Somebody out of town just doesn't have as much skin in the game because they don't have their local reputation on the line.
Something else I have had lenders do in the past that can help an offer, and that Zoe is totally open to doing, is calling the listing agent. Maybe there are some things that Zoe can say about the file, or I don't know what else. But maybe once I present the offer, I will have Zoe put it in a call and talk to the agent about just how strong the buyer's power is.
Yes, this definitely did not used to be as popular as it is now. I'd say a few years ago we didn't see this a lot, but I have been getting requests from agents to call the listing agent and just introduce myself and just explain that I have a very qualified and able borrower. There's obviously a lot of things that we're not able to say outside of what is listed already on our pre-approval letter. Just explaining who I am, talking a little bit about our company, talking about, we close loans on time, talking about how they can reach me throughout the process, and talking about how the buyer is well qualified in all areas of the loan, and I've reviewed their documentation. I've pulled a credit report. A lot of lenders, I've actually heard this, that some lenders are not even pulling credit reports. A lot of them are not reviewing any documents prior to issuing a pre-qualification letter, which sometimes it's not always required, but I tend to like to verify that what the borrower put on their loan application is actually true when it comes to the documentation they send me. So a listing agent usually does really like to receive that phone call when they're reviewing offers to know that they do actually have a qualified buyer and the loan officer has verified in multiple ways that they are qualified.
And now we get to my favorite trick that I have up my sleeve. Escalation clause. I don't know if a lot of agents use these. I think they probably do, but who knows. But my favorite way to make an offer more competitive is to use an So what is an escalation clause, you ask? Think of it like an eBay offer. For example, the price of a home. The starting price is $300,000. So we're going to enter our offer at $300,000. The question that I ask my buyers to determine how high I want to take the escalation clause is, at what price would you be sad that you lost this house? So say I have already communicated with the listing agent and they said we have multiple offers, but they can't give us any information on what the offers are. That's pretty typical. I have clients who are like, can't you just tell me what the other offers are? No, we don't get that information in most cases. So I'll say, at what price would you maybe go home and cry that you didn't offer $5,000 more dollars? So maybe in this case, the client says $325. If you would be sad that you lost the house at $325, let's go a little bit over. Let's go to $330. So then we have an extra form that attaches to the contract that describes how high we're going to go with the escalation clause. So we're going to go in this case up to $330,000. And then the next bit of information is, how are we going to jump our bid? This is something that I don't want to give away my secret, and actually I don't think I'm going to. So if you want to know, you can book a call with me and we can discuss how I use the escalation factor. But let's just say you want to beat any other offer by $1,000. I structure mine a little bit differently. So this is why I'm saying, if you want to know my secret, you're going to have to call and be my client, because I don't want anybody else beating our competitive offer with my knowledge. Someone else offers, we're going to go all the way up to $330,000. And if someone else offers $225,000, we're going to beat them by $1,000. So our offer is going to go at $326,000. And as long as they're basing that off price, they would choose our offer. So you're not ending up paying $330,000, you're only ending up paying $326,000, but you beat that other offer. You beat all the other offers. There are nuances to it. So if you have another question, please leave a comment below and let me know, or book a call with me and I can explain a little further. But that's kind of the bird's eye view of an escalation clause. You're kind of eBay bidding on a house and you don't want to miss out. So let's say the house goes up to $340,000. You're like, no, I don't want to pay. I don't love love it I don't love it for $340,000.
Another thing, when you are looking at an escalation clause with your realtor, you definitely want to touch base with your loan officer about that as well. If you're going to go up $10,000 over what you were originally asking, ask your loan officer, how much will my payment jump if I offer $10,000 more? Right now, that's only going to be about $60 per month. Again, would you be crying at home if you lost out on this offer for an extra $60 a month? Every $1,000 more or less on the loan is going to be between $6 and $7. So if you go $10,000 higher, $60. And have your loan officer give you updated loan fee worksheets for each one of those different price points, and maybe also the max that you're willing to offer. We can also give you multiple pre-qualification letters as well. So if you just wanted to send the first pre-qual letter with your first part of your offer and not show them all of your cards, we can do multiple different price points for your pre-qual letters as well to make your offer stronger.
Ooh, that brings me to a good point. Sometimes I have this little move. So I might have a client, so maybe we're offering $350,000 on a house, but I know that they're pre-qualified up to $375,000. I might send the $375,000 pre-qual with our $350,000 offer, because that agent might come back and say, the listing agent might come back and say, hey, I see your offers at $350,000, but they're pre-qualified up to $375,000, and we do have some offers a little over $350,000, so you might want to reconsider offering higher if they really love this house, so you can be competitive with the other offers. I have had agents come back to me and say that. Sometimes I just use that as a little play to see if the listing agent is liking our other terms, and if they notice that, they might come back, and so we might have another chance at offering more for the home. And sometimes that's like what a buyer client needs, is a little push to be like, okay, I actually really love this home and I don't want to miss out on it. And so I don't do that every time, but there's just certain cases where I feel like this might help us if I know they're pre-qualified for a little higher and there are a lot of offers coming in. There are probably some other ways to make a competitive offer. So if you have anything that you have learned from an agent, or if you have questions about it, if you consider, does this make my offer more competitive or not, drop us a comment below and we'll make a video about it maybe.
So all of these that we've just explained are definitely ways that you can work to make your offer more competitive. It's also super important that your realtor and your lender work together to help you. So it's supposed to be a partnership. We are all in it for the same exact goal, and that is getting you to the closing table. Choose your agent and your lender based on people that you like to work with and that also like to work with each other, that are all in it for your best interest.